The moment you think you've secured the marriage is often when the countdown begins. In 12 minutes, you'll spot the signs early and know your next move. Monday morning, she's scrambling eggs, pouring coffee, and folding your laundry like nothing's wrong. Tuesday night, she's downloaded a dating app, bought new lingerie you've never seen, and she's sending flirty messages to a 25-year-old trainer named Ryan. You're standing in your kitchen, staring at your coffee like it just betrayed you, asking the most terrifying question a man can ask, "Who is this stranger in my house?" And no, you're not paranoid. You're watching a pattern unfold in slow motion. You think 15 years of loyalty is a shield. You think being a solid provider makes you immune. But in a lot of marriages, the first domino doesn't fall with a scream. It falls with tiny signals and a plan you never got to read. So if it's not hate, what makes a woman start planning her escape while she's still smiling at breakfast? The answer isn't that she hates you, it's that she is terrified she has become a background extra in the movie of your life. Quick pause. This isn't a romance story, it's a status system. For about 2 decades, a lot of women have been quietly trained on a brutal scoreboard. Value equals youth plus beauty. At 25, she's the lead. Cameras, compliments, attention on tap. Then the calendar keeps moving, hormones start shifting, and the world spotlight gets weirdly selective. Now, zoom out. Since the 1,990 seconds, gray divorce splits after 50 has surged from a niche event into a mainstream one. And the engine behind it often starts with one feeling: invisibility. Surveys show many people believe women become invisible earlier than men, while men often report that feeling later in life. Most guys think the breakup starts on the day she says, "I'm done." It doesn't. It starts months earlier with tiny signals: less eye contact, fewer inside jokes, more time running errands. A phone that never leaves her hand. You feel it, but you tell yourself it's just stress. She feels it too, but she calls it growth. That's the quiet countdown. 2 people living in the same house on 2 different timelines, pretending the gap isn't widening. Here's the scary part. When someone feels invisible, they become easy to hijack. In a few minutes, I'll show you the exact 3-step hack that turns a stable marriage into a sudden exit plan. And here's where it gets unfair. You start feeling like the villain, not because you did something monstrous, but because, without meaning to, you become the symbol of time. You represent the routine, the calendar, the responsibilities that whisper, "We're getting older." You didn't apply for the job of human calendar, but congrats, you're hired. So when she looks at you, she may not see you, she sees time. And she doesn't want to tweak the marriage, she wants a full reboot of the franchise. But feeling invisible alone usually isn't enough to make someone torch a light. To actually walk away, she needs emotional anesthesia, something that makes the decision feel righteous instead of scary. And that's where the chorus shows up. Friends, feeds, advice videos, group chats. Not evil, just loud. They hand her a story that tastes like relief. You're not leaving, you're finally living. But if she feels invisible, your fixes can sound like a checklist, not love. So she looks for a shortcut, a new person who makes her feel instantly visible again. If that sounds insane, good. Because the brain loves shortcuts. So it grabs the fastest one, instant validation. The addictive part isn't love. It's validation, and it hits exactly like a sugar rush. Have you ever noticed how one divorce in a friend group can make everyone suddenly review their relationship like it's an app update? That's not just vibes. Social network research suggests breakup risk can climb when close connections split, and even when the drama is 1 degree away. Because social circles do something subtle. They change what feels normal. A newly single friend doesn't have to be malicious to be influential. Sometimes they just radiate a new script. Freedom. Self-discovery. You deserve it. And stability, which used to feel safe, starts sounding like settling. Now, add biology. This is where things get annoyingly chemical. Long-term love runs on oxytocin, the slow build, long-game signal. It's like real food. Not flashy, but it keeps you alive. Fresh validation is dessert with a megaphone, a dopamine spike that hits fast and loud. And once the brain learns candy exists, broccoli suddenly needs a PR team. Social media then turns the volume knob to 11. Not because the apps are evil, but because they're great at one job, showing you a better-looking life every few seconds. She isn't comparing her marriage to reality. She's comparing a Tuesday night to everyone else's vacation montage. So, new relationship energy starts feeling like medicine, when it's really just caffeine for the soul, a quick buzz, then a crash. She feels energized. She feels young again. She thinks she has found the cure for her aging, but while she is chasing this sugar high, she doesn't realize she is starving her real life to death. And the crash is coming. Now, let's map the collapse step by step. In her own head, she tells herself this version of the last 15 years. For 15 years, she was the silent force holding everything up. She wasn't flashy, and she didn't shine like the attention seekers. She wasn't there for the spotlight. She stood firm, supported the family through financial storms, and kept everything stable. She was the essential structure keeping everything in place. But here's the tragedy. In the midst of her crisis, she no longer sees herself as support. Instead, she feels like an obstruction. She looks around and sees other people living like they have endless room. Fewer rules, more attention, more fresh starts. And she wants that. She wants to break free from the very thing that has kept her safe. And that's when the demolition begins. She tells you, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. What she's really saying is, I like the shelter, but I resent the structure. She thinks she's renovating, like if she tears down the familiar, she'll finally have space to breathe. Then she compares her real life, the bills, the chores, the routine to the fantasy feed on social media. Here's the problem. She's not arguing with you. She's fighting the scoreboard. Time, attention, status. And that scoreboard doesn't compromise. It only collects. When it hits, it doesn't feel like a breakup. It feels like the whole climate of the house changes overnight. And then comes the part that blindsides most men, the story rewrite. Here's why. The brain hates being the villain in its own movie. So it sends in its internal PR department to clean up the narrative. Yes, your mind has a PR team. It's awful at facts. Not because she's a cartoon villain, because cognitive dissonance is how humans survive decisions that scare them. Suddenly, your stability becomes control. Your quiet evenings become neglect. Your consistency becomes, I was pretending the whole time. Because if the past was terrible, leaving feels like rescue, not risk. If that sounds like rewriting history, it is. And it's also, frustratingly, common. And the impact on you is not just emotional, it's physical. Large population research suggests divorced men face significantly higher risks for severe depression and early death compared to married men. You're left standing in the rubble, finances, identity, access to your kids, all shaken at once. If you're in a dark place, don't do it alone. Talk to a professional, a trusted friend, somebody who can pull you back to ground. And the kids? They don't experience divorce as freedom, they experience it as weather. One day it's sunny. Next day the roof is gone. Adults can tell themselves stories like, kids are resilient. Kids are resilient, sure, in the way a phone can survive a drop, but it still cracks sometimes. What they actually crave is predictability. Routines, bedtime, the same faces at breakfast. When that stability cracks, you're left walking through emotional debris, trying to figure out why your own home suddenly feels temporary. At first, everything is fueled by adrenaline. It's exciting, it's loud, it feels like an escape. But then the buzz wears off. The sugar high ends. And Ryan, the 25-year-old trainer, he isn't a fantasy. He's just another regular guy. He's got baggage, bad habits, problems you don't see in a direct message. Shocking, I know. That's when reality hits. You can't chase freedom after you've destroyed the thing that made you feel safe. You can't undo the collapse. You can't untaste the thrill. All you can do is stop pretending it didn't happen and build forward from whatever's still standing. So what's the solution? Stop trying to win the argument. Start building boundaries. You can't talk someone out of a dopamine spiral. And you can't fix a relationship with words while the other person is still tearing it down. So here's the simple 3-step defense plan. Step 1. Track the trend, not the headline. One weird night isn't the story. A consistent shift in behavior is. Step 2. Stop pleading. Start protecting yourself. Keep receipts. Save messages. Write down dates. Stay calm and factual. Step 3. Get legal and financial advice early, not to attack her. To avoid getting blindsided while you still have options. Protect your head. Protect your kids. Protect your future. And most importantly, protect your stability. Your job isn't to rescue her feelings, it's to stay grounded when the room gets shaky. Reality, responsibility, consistency, the boring stuff that keeps kids safe. She may be chasing an illusion, but you don't have to chase her. And if she comes back after the crash, remember, you're not rewinding the old story. You're deciding the rules of a new chapter. The world is chaotic. Biology is ruthless. But once you understand the mechanism, you stop feeling cursed and start thinking clearly. If these warning signs hit close to home, don't stay silent. Send this to a friend who needs a reality check. If you want the next piece of the blueprint, stick with the channel and hit subscribe. Because a story rewrite doesn't just damage a marriage, it can damage your reputation too.